Hello ladies and gents, this is another video brought to you by Ants Hood. This next video is way overdue. It's about my polys. I think it's only fitting that I start with my setup and the climate requirements for this species. I did lots of research on this species before I got them to make sure that I got the best living conditions for them. Everyone told me, and every bit I read up on said they really need a kind of naturalistic setup. So this is my setup here when I first created it. Since then, I've done a bit of swapping and changing, but I'll talk about that shortly. So my setup, the first off, the container. Found this on Amazon for like 25 quid, couldn't say no. Came with a lid and an LED in that lid, bargain. As polys need material to weave their nests, I put some wood bark in the bottom. I also got a tree so they can climb because they need the height, and I put an offering table on there so I had a flat surface to give them the food without it all falling over. I also put some moss in the enclosure so they had some finer material to weave with, and the tubes you see here is what they arrived in. As Polyrhachis need quite high humidity, this setup really struggled with that. But after adding some coconut fibre, it helped hold on to the humidity and it kind of stabilised the system, and they also started using it to weave, as you can see here. This was so exciting, it was the first bit of weaving I witnessed them doing. Polys are not like conventional ants. They don't build their nests underground. What these ladies do is they weave their nests between rocks, between branches, normally no higher than chest height from the ground. I've spent many hours watching these ants work, and what I have observed, because I'm really struggling with English today, is that the adult workers bring the material to how they want to weave it, and then they put it roughly in place, and it's shored up with the silk from the young, as you can see in this video. Polys youngs don't form cocoons like normal ants. What the young do is that they use this silk that they would use to form it to glue together the material to harden up the nest. I've got some great footage here of watching them do it. I know I'm going to get some ridicule and some criticism for this, but I do strongly believe there is some intelligence behind the design of their nests. What I observed was that they started building at a set point like here at the bottom of the screen, and one would expect them to build outwards from there to get to the size that they require for the nest, but I didn't see that. What I did see was them building from the ground up, which kind of shows intelligence to me. As you can see here in this image, in the middle right and middle centre, they've started to build up material there. I know it's not the easiest to see in this picture, but at the time I wasn't looking at making YouTube videos, so getting the optimate view wasn't really high on my agenda, but I can guarantee you guys, it's there. You guys need to get these ants. They're just so interesting to watch, and you can observe this behaviour yourself. Just look how much they've built up now. They're practically level with the feeding table and the moss, and they've built into the root system of the tree. They're so industrious and it's so interesting to watch, guys. You really need to get these ants. This isn't the only quirk of this species. They've got this strange habit of attacking their nest mates. Nobody really knows why they do this. They're not sure if it's because there's like a deformity with the ant, or if it's because they're poorly or ill, or if it's because they're old and they're not as productive as they used to be. But they just seem to randomly attack ants. Well, we seem it to be randomly, but I'm sure there's a logical reason for them to do it, but nobody knows why. In this clip, they got hold of a male who they dragged around for days upon days. Even after he was dead, I observed them carrying it around the arena for quite a while. These ants are also able to inbreed amongst themselves. Now, nobody really knows how they do this without getting the normal deformities you get with inbreeding. Some suggestions are that the queen mates with multiple males and stores the sperm for the different males in different areas so they can fertilize the males different to the females, which will prevent the inbreeding. And some suggest it may just be a genetic quirk that they've developed to stop any negativity from inbreeding. The truth is, though, nobody knows. Now, I wouldn't suggest this species for beginners, more intermediate, because they do have climate control that you need to get right, and the environment they live in needs to be correct as well, such as the natural setup. If you're not used to this, or you're inexperienced, it might not be an ideal starter species, but I definitely strongly recommend that you do get this species at some point. Well, that's it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please stick around because tomorrow I've got an update on my Camponotus paresis and how they're getting on now. So like and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video.